Hello and good evening everyone, and welcome back. Now today is going to be something slightly different, although I have done this before actually. What you're going to see, well, not yet, but you will in a few moments, is some footage which I've recorded of me travelling, because you don't always want to look at just me talking behind the background. I think it's slightly boring, and sometimes holding the camera out like this is slightly hard on the arm. And admittedly, this isn't the best light. That is slightly better. But anyway, you will see I call it stock footage. It's not stock footage really, because I've recorded it already. So I don't know why I call it that. But anyway, point is, soon you'll see me talking against that, because tonight's topic is love and romance. And recently, roll the footage in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay. Now, tonight's topic is love and romance, as I said, because I've had this thought recently. Do I really want to find love? Because this has been a recurring topic on this vlog about my desire to find love and romance, you know? And I've often stated my desire to find it. And I will admit the desire is there, because most nights I go to bed and I wish I had someone there to snuggle up with, you know? But I've had this thought, and bear in mind I had this thought many, many years ago, and it wasn't really a serious thought, but it was just a jokey thought, just one of those things that young, cringe people come up with. And that thought was, do we really fall in love, or do we just justify by filling our own sexual desires by pretending we're in love with people? And I just laughed at the time, because I thought, yeah, silly shower thought, all that sort of thing. But nowadays I'm thinking, do I really want to find love? Do I really want romance? Or do I just, want to have sex? And this is my brain's way of, justifying the sexual urges. Because, I'll be honest with people, I've never really dated much in my life. I've had very few partners. So in that field, so really when it comes to the physical or the emotional field, I'm very inexperienced, to say the least. And not that I've ever really held a grudge against anyone who hasn't, or is experienced, I should say, because, what am I going to say, how dare you live a life? And I never really care for those people who say things like, well, I think my partner should be inexperienced. They should be even less experienced than I am, which I think is stupid, because in my opinion, if you're going to say it's like saying I'm 41 now. So a lot of women who are single will most likely be divorced or even single parents. And there are some people who haven't met anyone properly yet, but will just dismiss people like that. And they say things like, well, I don't want that. Or I think they should have waited longer for the right person. All that bollocks. But in my opinion, if you're going to say, that sort of thing, then you might as well just go all the way down and say, I wish they lived in a bomb shelter their entire lives and never knew another human being until they met me. Kind of like a Brendan Fraser in that film. I forget what it's called. I'll probably think of it later. Anyway, as I said, I am trying to find someone, I will admit. And it's not really successful, because I've never really been good at talking, I've never known what to say. It's like, do I go for the easy topics? Will they think I'm an idiot if I say that? Or will they think I'm disinterested? Because truth be told, I never really knew. And the fact is, it's not really a sad fact, it's just a fact of life, is that people will react differently to the same thing. And the truth is, I would probably react differently to certain things like that too. Depending on my mood and day I had and all that lot, really. So you could pretty much put most of my dating anxiety down to just me being an idiot. And giving myself stupidly high standards. And I do this a lot, you'll find. I will automatically assume that everybody else has stupidly high standards. whereas I'm fine. Or, it's just me. But it's not true. I'm fine, really. I am. There's ain't wrong with me, really. Well, there's stuff wrong with me, but you could argue that is the case for everyone. We've all got stuff wrong with us. But anyway, before I digress and go into I don't really want to dig into my insecurity side, because that's not what this video is about. Although it is partially, actually. Because you could argue this whole debate I've got going on with myself is down to my own insecurities. And to go back to the original question, and that will be the title of the video, by the way, which is the question I'm asking: do I want love, or do I just want sex? Because let's be honest, I'm 41, I have the urges, and I think most people my age do too. I mean, obviously it's different measures of people, but the urges are there, if I'm honest, people. They're there. There's no point denying it. And it just leaves me wondering, is my hunt for love just my brain's way of, making me feel better about having urges? The same natural urges that pretty much 99% of the population have. Because I know there are people out, because of course, not everyone wants the same. And there are people out there who don't have those urges, and sometimes I envy that. Other times I don't. Not that it really matters, of course, because my feelings are irrelevant most of the time. Especially when it comes to how other people live their lives, because let's face it, how someone lives their life is their business and not mine. But the question remains though, and I don't think I'm ever going to give myself a proper answer. Because quite frankly, if my brain did decide that it would make me crave love and romance just as a way of fulfilling those urges inside of me, it would be a very me thing to do. It would be, because I've always, how do I put this? I've always been ashamed. I'll be honest with you, I spent most of my life being ashamed of my urges, which is strange really, because as my previous guns would tell you, I was a pretty basic partner. I had no real dreams or aspirations or wants or anything really. I was very easy to please. I'm not just talking in that way either. Generally I was easy to please, but the truth is, I just made myself low maintenance so that someone might want me. Because I always worried about appearing ungrateful or appearing selfish for wanting what I want in life. And that just brings up even more questions inside of me, really. And the truth is, I've always felt selfish for wanting the things I want in life. I've always been one of those partners that says, I don't mind, we'll do the thing you want to do. And then we do the thing you want to do, and I think, I wish I'd done the thing I wanted to do. But my fear of appearing selfish or high demand always led to me just saying, you know what, we'll do what you want. And the truth be told, I can't really blame anyone for that. Because it's down to me, really. I've made myself this way. I mean, there may be some psychological reason in my childhood why I'm like this way. I'll probably never know, because I'm not saying got the money to see a psychiatrist. And if I did, I'd rather spend it on, a holiday and go somewhere. Anyway, this is who I am. I am low maintenance to the point that I ask for nothing really. And because I'm this person, I've often wondered, does my brain make me feel better by inventing scenarios in my head for wanting these things? It's like, to go back to the original question, my desire for sex, is the fact that I'm so scared of saying what I actually want in life leading my brain to come up with reasons for fulfilling those urges without actually, appearing selfish. It's like my brain has said, you know what, we'll fulfill those urges, but what we're going to do, we're going to wrap it up in love and romance so that you think you want love and romance, and when you do, meet someone, and you know how it goes, you meet someone, you fall in love, and you do the thing that lovers do. The natural thing, as all lovers do. Well, most anyway. And that would be my brain's way of saying, you know what? This is how we're going to justify it. That way you won't feel guilty or feel like you've been a high maintenance person. And that leads to another one. How the hell did I get like this? Was I always like this? I can't remember. I really can't. I think I was. Thinking about it. I've been like this my entire life. Well, most of it anyway. From what I can remember, I've always been like this, and I never really thought about it until recently. And yes, I'm aware this isn't the original topic of the video, but it's related to it. And if you've been here before, you know I do this. You'll know that I talk about one thing, okay, and then end up talking about another. If you're new here, this happens a lot, by the way. So, which is why some of my older videos have like 3 titles to them. This one won't. This will just be the question, I think. Unless I change my mind, in which case you can forget all of this. But of course, just so you know, if you are tuning in late, I'm actually talking about this in my bed. I'm not actually on the bus talking about this, because that would just be weird. I mean, imagine you get on the bus one day and you just see someone with a phone talking about, are my sexual urges real, or are they just, my brain's way of compensating for other things? I mean, you wouldn't want to be on that bus, even if the tickets are cheap. But anyway, I digress, as I always do. But it just leads me back to the question. Do I want love? I mean, am I ready for love? That's another question. Am I actually ready for this? Am I mature enough for a relationship? Because sometimes I'm not sure I am. Other times I think I am, and I think that the reason I think I'm not is because I'm an idiot. And I always put myself down like this, and I've always worried that my uselessness will just come to the fore one day, which is probably another reason why I've often been low maintenance, because I'm not reliable. I am sort of reliable. I am semi-reliable, actually. I'm semi-reliable. No more than most people, anyway. But I've always been low maintenance. And that is probably something that may never change. Unless I meet someone who's willing to, get it out of me. But that wouldn't be fair on them. It would not be fair on the other person to expect them to just put up with me like this. So I think it may be a long time before I actually enter a relationship, or should enter a relationship. I mean, how long does this journey go on for? I know I've said before it goes on forever, but how long is it before I get to the point where I'm actually able to do stuff proper? Like have a relationship and not screw it up. How long do I have to do this before I, get to do other great things that most adults do? I don't know anymore. It's a strange question, and I'm aware this is coming across as very melancholy. But truth be told, this is how I feel sometimes. Sometimes I think I'm not going to achieve anything in life. I'm not going to achieve adulthood as such. So I should just give up now. And talking about it now is making me more depressed. So I've got to get the positive thoughts back in my head after this. Because I've said this before, I am lovable. I am capable of doing all these things. I just got to believe in myself, which is half the battle. But the question is, so how does one truly believe in themselves when they don't? Because I don't believe in myself, if I'm honest. I've yet to figure that bit out. If you know, please let me know in the comments. How do you actually believe in yourself and actually do things? Because I see so many people that seem to have more issues than I do, yet they somehow seem to have it together. And it does get to me. And I know I've said before that chances are they don't. And the truth is, they probably don't. They just appear so. Then again, half these people probably look at me and think he's got it going together. He's doing alright. But no matter how much I know, most of my assumptions about other people are untrue. There are times when I just can't help but think they are true. And that is the hard part. No matter how good I feel, no matter how much better I'm doing, the original problems are still here. Sometimes it's like I've taken a step in this journey, but the journey's suddenly gotten longer. But I can't think like this. I can't let the pessimism win, because if the pessimism wins, then there's no point to any of this. I might as well just stop the vlog and delete every video I made over the last year, and that's so many, and all those hours wasted. You know? I can't stop. I can't give up. I can't just let the pessimism win, because I've come so damn far. And yes, this is me cheering up a bit. Really is. Actually, I'll show you me smiling. Look. Hopefully I'll remember to actually edit that bit in and not just, Anyway, as I was saying, I've got to keep up the positivity, and it is hard. I'll be honest with you, it's very hard, because you can't just say I'm going to be positive. It doesn't actually work like that. But I can try to be positive, I can set myself goals, and I can do other things. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to carry on living. I'm going to carry on day to day being the best person I can, and trying to be even better than that. And if you're having trouble with your own life, and I hope you're not, but if you are, just so you know, you're not the only one. Okay? And I'm not going to say to anyone that you should just, shut up and be positive and all that other stuff, because it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that, and it never ever will. But what you can do is try. It's hard, I know, but it is doable. And as far as I'm concerned, if I can do it, anyone can almost, because I'm a useless human being in some ways. I'm a loser. I have, I won't go any further because I'm meant to be keeping positive, so I'm going to stop these track of thoughts, or try to at least. And if you are in trouble, I hope you do try. It's not easy, but you should try, because I don't want the negative thoughts to win. I really don't. But as it's getting late for me, and the thoughts aren't really getting any better as such, I'm going to finish this here. And I'm going to do a little bit of exercise, because getting the blood pumping does make me feel better. So until next time, people, I hope this hasn't made you too sad, this video, or made you too negative in the feelings. But sometimes you just got to be honest when the negativity attacks you, and you just got to bear it all. Actually, if you are in trouble, I will say this. One thing you should do is start a vlog like I did. Just get your phone out. Actually, I'll put me back on screen. Just get a phone like this with video recording capability, which I think every phone does now. And just talk. Just let out your feelings. You might think, yeah, I don't sound... I'll tell you something now, okay? When I hear my voice, I think I sound weird. I think that guy should not be allowed near kids with that weird voice. But truth is, it's a normal voice. It's just not what I'm used to, and it'll probably be the same for you when you do it, because you'll think, do I really sound like that? And chances are you do. But one thing I will say is that getting a phone like this and recording your thoughts does help. It's seriously therapeutic. And I've made some friends here too, so life ain't all bad. And as you can tell, I am starting to feel better. Still going to do some exercise after this though, because it will cheer me up. Getting the blood pumping seems to work. Not sure why, just does. So I'm going to finish this here. And until next time, people, please take care of yourselves, alright? Bye.